and ideas out, I sketch. That helps, but only to a certain extent. Whenever I attempt to plan what is in my head, it turns into a miserable process. I feel confined by the plan, stifled creatively, and ultimately defeated by the box that I have built for myself. The best way to get the stuck things to move is to move. Yes, dancing can be involved, but mostly it's putting a brush to a canvas. So there was no plan, only an idea and amazing people who had patience and understanding of how creativity flows, who stepped out into action with a little faith. And we made this, Jamie Sapo, Doug Peterson, and myself. I like to think that this is how we came into being, a messy, wild, and collaborative process that produced something beautiful, just an idea to begin with. Listen to Genesis 1:26. Then God said, "Let us make humankind in our image, after our likeness. Let them rule over the fish of the sea, over the flying creatures of the sky, over the livestock, over the whole earth, and every crawling creature on the land." To me, creativity, imagination, and wildness are glimmers of the Creator left in their work. The Trinity, together since the beginning of time, has done nothing but blow our minds with the possibilities of this world. Just for fun, let's run through this passage and sit with just how enjoyable it must have been for the divine imagination to create. We've got our first slide. Yeah. Look at this thing. Fish of the sea. This is the vampire squid, which is neither a squid nor an octopus, nor a vampire, but I think that goes without saying. It has 8 arms and 2 tentacles and gets its name from the skin that connects its arms, resembling a cape. When it inverts its cape of skin, it displays large spikes under its arms, and it is the reason that I don't go in the ocean where I can't touch the bottom. Next slide. Flying creatures of the sky. It's not a bird. This is a parachute frog. They use their webbed feet to glide between trees and can travel up to 15 meters in the air, which is about from me to the back of the sanctuary where the McGaffins are sitting now. Next slide. Livestock. Now it's a bird, but it can't fly. Instead, it can run 30 miles an hour, jump 7 feet straight up, and lays eggs that weigh around a pound. This is an emu. Whoops, one too far, yeah. So this is the whole Earth, and it's a little bit more local. This is Ringing Rocks in Bucks County, and it has 7 acres of boulders that ring when you hit them with a hammer. This sound has puzzled scientists, but it's believed to have something to do with high iron content and freezing and thawing cycles that happened about 12,000 years ago. But I like to think that the rocks just want to sing. Crawling creatures on the land. I couldn't talk about weird things in nature without mentioning the platypus. A small amphibious mammal that lays eggs, has a beaver-like tail and a duckbill, and cannot be put into any box by the scientific community. So you get the point. Who could have possibly imagined these things into being? God. Not to mention stars and planetary systems, plants that eat flies, and the miraculous complexity that is the human body. You are a part of this beautiful, funny, mind-bending world that is art. Creation inspires art every day, from painting to poetry to music to sewing to carpentry. We make things because we see the beauty in what has already been made. You are a part of it too. You reflect the image of God. When you create, you imitate the Creator. This is a quote from one of my favorite books called Wild Mercy by Maravi Starr. When you were a child, you knew yourself to be creator of the universe. But little by little, you forgot who you were. When you were a child, everything was about color. Now you pick black as your automatic font color because that is the coin of your realm. When you were a child, you made up songs. You don't sing much anymore. You lecture or you yell, or you keep a safe silence. When you were a child, you traveled from place to place by dancing. And now you cultivate stillness, which is great. But you are forgetting how to move to the music of your soul. You can hardly even hear the inner music over the clamor of all of your obligations. So, why do we forget? When do we forget? Why do we not value creativity in society? We have the starving artist trope and believe that everything you make has to be good, when we should be creating to feed our souls, not necessarily our eyes. Making things is good for you because you take a step closer to God when you do, trying to be more like the Creator of the universe. I think artists are some of my favorite people because they haven't forgotten. They create invitations to look deeply at things as they are and ourselves as we are with every piece. They invite us to change perspectives. These are some images that take that quite literally. This is The Ambassadors by Hans Holbein the Younger, and it has what appears to be a smudge across the front of the image, but when you step to the side of the piece, it's revealed to be a skull. Next is Schrodinger's stairs. And they have you questioning which way is up and down and left and right, but it's still fun to find your way through the impossible maze. These next few pieces can be seen in a couple of different ways, which I will run through with you. But I will also note that I have seen all of these masterpieces in person, and they have actually helped me change my perspective on life in their own way. Each moved me to tears, and I felt like I was able to see clearly because of them. I also invite each of you to bring your full self when viewing these images, and maybe something similar will happen. This is Composition by Shafik Abood. This one can feel a little sad and clunky and highlight uncertainties in life. But it can also be a fun and quirky study of the color blue and remind us of geometric waves. I know that modern art isn't everybody's thing here, but I always appreciate it because it leaves so much up to the viewer. Next one is The Young Martyr by Paul de la Roche. You can see the danger in this work with her hands bound, floating in the water. I think the perspective here comes with hope. You may see the halo, the only source of light, highlighting her peaceful face, ready to accept death, and the dark angel about to take her away in the background. Or you may see a woman content with her situation, protected by God, awaiting rescue by the figure in the background, diving in the water to save her. Regardless, I always find a soft peace in this image. Monet's Water Lilies. This was one of my favorite museum experiences ever. The Orangerie Museum in Paris is home to 8 giant water lily paintings similar to this, housed in 2 giant oval rooms. It feels like you are wrapped in the paintings and like they're giving you a big hug. The genius of Monet is that when you look closely, it looks like nothing. It's only when you give the art space that you see all that it is meant to be. Artists invite us to change perspectives, and so does God. Romans 12:2 says, "Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your minds, so that you too may discern what is the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect." In other words, let this world of art transform you by holding up a mirror to the imaginative creator. What beautiful words we get from the Bible. What art? Perhaps one of the things that we have tried so hard to conform to, Scripture, is also a moving, wild piece of art as well. Poetry is an art, and the Bible is poetic and mysterious. I'm always bothered by reading the Bible without some context, not just the context of the story, but the context of your own life. Remember, we are just as important as the work of art itself. We bring our experiences, wisdom, personality, humor, emotions, questions, our entire being to that which we read or see. This is why the Bible is so amazing to me, and to quite a few of you as well. Every time we read the same passage, something new appears based on where we are in our journey. What a beautiful mystery it is that God inspired this metamorphic text for us to explore. So friends, here is the artist's statement. Make things. Make bad art, especially bad art. Make good art, make funny art, make wild art. Imagine a better and more beautiful world where we are all free to express this creative side. Art is holy because when we create, we are in touch with the Creator who dwells within. Get to know love by making things and spreading love of your own. I will close with another quote from Maravi Star. "It is not only your birthright to create, it is your true nature."